This is the Breakfast Leadership Podcast. Boundaries or burnout, you make the choice. Here's your host, Michael Levitt.
In a previous episode, I talked about basically taking the end of 2018 off away from work and refreshing, reflecting, recuperating, resting, all those RE words. Respecting, I guess, respecting my time and myself to get away from things. And one of the things that jumped out at me when I was taking this break, and one of the things about my break was more or less taking a pretty big break from checking emails all the time and also social media. Now, if you follow me on any of my social media accounts, first, thank you for doing that. I appreciate you and appreciate you taking the time to check out my content. But I really wasn't active on it. Now, I use a scheduling tool for a lot of the content, so content was still being shared and generated, but it wasn't me, quote unquote, doing it at that particular time. It was the scheduling tool. I had put all of that information in and shared all of that information for the most part back in November of last year. So, the content I've been sharing is basically keeping me active in social media accounts. That doesn't mean that I wasn't popping in. It's one of those things. Like sometimes you have to kind of check and see what's going on and see if there's anything there. And I did periodically, but my usage of my iBinky is, I know you've probably heard me say that on more than one occasion. The usage of the iBinky, based on the screen time app, was a dramatic decrease. And I noticed while I was taking that time away and not using my phone as much, that I didn't need to, and things were still getting done. So it was a good exercise for me to take, and I highly encourage you to do the same thing, where you keep track of how much time you're using your smartphone, how much time you're spending online. Because my hunch is it's a lot more than you think it is. So you should take a step back and ask yourself, and this is a question and actually a comment that Dr. Badasil, who I co-authored Preemptive Strike Leadership with, had commented on recently, was she is focused for this particular 2019 on only things that are going to move her business forward and generate revenue. And if that means not being on a certain social media platform as much, so be it. If it's not going to generate revenue, then she's not going to spend her time on it. She's driven. I'm driven. We're both focused on the same things as far as what we are going to do and what we are doing with organizations that are trying to prevent a Trojan horse within their four walls. Preemptive Strike Leadership is on Amazon.com. I highly encourage you to go buy it. Thank you. It's a good book. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed writing it. But at the end of the day, my time is my time, and how I spend it should be in a way that is for growth, both from a financial thing. Let's be honest here. We all work for revenue. We all work for income to do the things that we want to do. And that's a big driving force for me, is to, generate revenue. But more importantly, to generate revenue doing something that I truly believe in. And that's helping organizations and people be better than they were before. Whether it's burnout recovery, whether it's teaching organizations how to properly manage their employees and deal with the challenges that those employees are bringing into work every day. Putting the human back into human resources, all of that. So that's what's motivating me and for this year and beyond. Now, does that mean I'm not going to sit down and watch a movie? Absolutely not. Guess what? That's growth too. Entertainment and enjoying your life is important. Now, does that mean you should camp out all day and just watch movies? Depends on the day. If you need a break from work, then yeah, go for it. If you're going to do it 7 days in a week, maybe you want to reconsider that. But that's up to you. I'm not here to fix you. You have to fix you. I'm out of the fixing people business. I'm out of trying to fix people from their woes. It's your woes. You get to do it. I can tell you some ideas and some suggestions on what you can do, but you're the one that has to do it. If you're burning out, you're the one that's going to have to make the changes. I can't make them for you. It's your life. You do what you want. But it's important for you to realize that you are controlling your life, not me. No matter what anybody says, no one else can control your life except you. So take advantage of that. It's your life. Design it the way you want. Till next time, be well.
Hey, it's Michael again. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. If you're like many people, you're dealing with some significant stress and possibly approaching burnout. I know how you feel. In 2009, my burnout led to a year of worst-case scenarios. I do not want that to happen to you. If you go to breakfastleadership.com, you can register for a free webinar on burnout prevention, as well as get a free checklist to have successful mornings. Start off each day the right way. Again, that's at breakfastleadership.com. Also, since you are a loyal podcast listener, I'm asking you to like, rate, and review my podcast on iTunes. I look at all the reviews and appreciate your comments, and it helps other potential listeners discover the content I have on the show. I appreciate you, and thanks again for listening.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.